A whole lot of pandering nerd points are doled out. And what does that even mean? In today's episode of Balderdash Academy.
Hello, welcome to Balderdash Academy. I'm your headmaster, Bob LeBlanc. Joining me, as always, is our faculty, head of Home Ec and Wellness, Marie Stewart Harmon. Head of the English Language Arts Department, Molly McGill. Coach of the Balderdash Academy Dashers, Steve Corning. And our reigning champion, head of guidance, Nate Green. Our visiting professor today is Leonard Kimble, stand-up comic and president of the River Comics in Maine. Leonard's agreed to be the scorekeeper tonight. Our faculty members will compete for the coveted reigning champion banner. They'll perform a series of challenges. At the end of each challenge, Leonard will assign points to a competitor he feels most worthy. The points are arbitrary and can be given to anyone for any reason. At the end of the show, the faculty member with the highest point total will be named the reigning champion. Again, our current reigning champion is Mr. Nate Green. That sound means it is now time for a pop quiz. Our first pop quiz is from Professor Molly McGill, English Language Arts. Molly?
Faculty, it is so great to see you today. As we always do, I would like to start the meeting off with a pop quiz for the word of the day. I'm going to give you a word. Let me know what you think the correct definition of today's word is. Gongoozler. Again, today's word is gongoozler.
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 Mm-hmm. Marie.
I have studied birds significantly in my time, and the gongoozler is the special part of the esophagus next to the gizzard in a turkey.
Thank you, Marie, so much.
It's a verb. No, it's a noun. It's definitely a noun.
Nate?
It's actually a medical term. It describes a psychosis when you fake your own disappearance and death in order to torture your current spouse.
Oh, wow, really, really cool.
Morbid.
And Mr. Steve Corning?
I was trying to remember where I'd heard this term before, and then it just occurred to me. I heard this when I was traveling in the UK. This is what they refer to someone who imbibes a little bit too much at the pub and wakes up on the front steps the next morning. Gongoozler.
Gongoozler.
Bob, do you have
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously a goozler is the old term for a sailor. So having gone goozler, being a gongoozler, means you went to be a sailor.
Thank
There you go.
so much, faculty. Those are all really, really great. Leonard, we have Marie's bird gizzard. We have Nate's spousal torture. We have Coach's drunken fellow. And then we have Bob's gone. Goose.
So I'm really familiar with getting drunk lately. So I think Steve's answer was the best. I give 100 points to Steve.
Thank you. Wow, that's generous.
Well done, Coach. Faculty, just so you know, they were all very, very close, like maybe just a hair off. A gongoozler is probably what a lot of us are doing right now as we're quarantined by ourselves. It's a person who stares at something for hours. Ain't that?
Wow.
There you go.
Gongoozler.
Can I give a bonus 20 points to Marie for actually giving the former speech? It was a noun.
Oh, great! Even though I got it wrong at first. Thanks, Leonard.
Yeah. That was very good.
Well done, faculty.
Thank you.
Molly, thank you for the word of the day pop quiz. Balderdash Academy, welcome Leonard Kimble. He is the stand-up comic and the president of the River Comics out of Maine.
Our logo.
Leonard, welcome.
Hey,
Oh.
Leonard.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited to be part of this fun, and hope I can help out.
Leonard, tell us about the River Comics. Tell us about how you got into stand-up.
So I took a stand-up comedy class a couple of years ago, put on by Don Hartill at Lewiston Adult Ed, and made a bunch of friends and stuck with it, and we had a really fun graduation show at She Doesn't Like Who Doesn't Like Wait, is it She Doesn't Like Guthrie's or Who Doesn't Like Guthrie's?
Yeah, she doesn't.
She doesn't like Guthrie's.
Whoever she is, hopefully we'll find out.
That's she never likes Guthrie's.
Nah,
Sounds negative.
it really does. Yeah.
Anyway, it was a really good graduation experience, and it was fun, and I just stuck with it, and eventually got together with some friends from that class and people I met at doing a comedy writing class that next year, and we formed the River Comics because we just wanted to, do a little open mic stuff for ourselves, local, and help each other write and just have some fun, and it's turned into a small business, and we're the quarantine right now has slowed us down, but we're eager to get back at it and have some more fun.
Now, your background isn't in comedy, though. I mean, you did have something before you started, right? Where did you start off?
I'm an IT guy, so I've been an IT consultant for many years, and now I'm an IT director at a nonprofit law firm.
Makes sense. It's funny bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing but laughs when you're setting up computers and answering people's questions and working all hours.
So when you do your bit, because everybody kind of has like a niche that they go with, do you talk about life in the IT lane?
I try not to. I think I mentioned that I'm an IT guy, but just as a little side comment, I try not to talk too much about my coworkers when I'm at work.
More for safety, or
yeah, for safety. Yeah, especially now that I'm working for lawyers, so I want to be careful.
There you go.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When your comedy troupe, when you get together to write, do you get together like when you were getting together, like in person, I assume? Did you like get together at a table and just spitball ideas? Like, was it once a week? Was it once a month? Did you come with scripted things? Like, how did that sort of ensemble work come to be?
Well, so we're not exactly an ensemble, but we're writing we're helping each other write jokes for their stand-up routines.
Oh, great. Okay, cool.
So we have an open mic that we were doing weekly in Auburn at Gritty's, and sometimes in those open mics someone will do their 5 minutes, and we'll ask, hey, does anybody do you want feedback on what you just did?
Yeah.
And we'll throw out little pointers here and there, or try this and not that, or maybe go in this direction. And then sometimes we'll just dedicate the whole open mic to us just sitting around a table with a couple of beers, and someone will just say a premise for a joke or say a joke, and we'll just, we'll help them write out the rest of that joke, and we'll do that for an hour and a half. Yeah, Nate?
Do you ever use the president card to your advantage? Like, ooh, that's good, I'm gonna take that.
Oh, goodness. No. The only thing I use my president card for is like our sort of River Comics like business decisions. Like I'll say like, oh, let's maybe not try to do a show at that venue because I'm too busy, or I'm too tired, or we're stretched a little thin, or hey, let's try to get this person on that show instead of that person on that show. I think that's better fit. That's those sort of things. But otherwise, we're helping each other, just help write jokes and I guess make each show as good as we can.
So as president of River Comics, you are not making them kiss your feet?
Not my feet, no.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, really.
It's gross to kiss my feet.
That's a very specific kink that Molly's into, I guess. When you get power, you gotta make them kiss your feet.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing. Is that not a thing?
I'm glad we're remote right now.
Now, Leonard, outside of your performance, outside of comedy, you also do improv.
Yes.
Do you find there's a similarity And I think I might know the answer, but do you find there's a similarity between stand-up and improv?
Well, I actually think I get more nervous doing stand-up than improv now. I used to be definitely afraid of improv, but now I appreciate it more because I don't have to. I mean, I have to practice, but I don't have to spend as much time writing. And I feel guilty sometimes with my stand-up about not writing enough. But if I get together with people like you and Dawn and Amanda and Julie just doing improv, I know I can show up and we can quickly remind each other what games we're going to play, and we get to know each other again, and we practice. And I know I can just be on stage and just do what comes natural and be in the moment to bring out whatever funny is gonna happen. And I don't have to remember like, oh, I gotta do this joke and then that joke and then that joke to get to my funny. Now I can just be on stage and just say, oh, well, try that on for size, that sort of thing. And I know I can be just funny in the moment, and it's a little more, or I guess it's easier, I suppose, for me to get up there and feel less worried about the prep work I went into doing it. And I'm never going to do the same thing twice, or I might do the same thing twice, but I don't feel guilty about, not having done something new, I suppose.
I admire stand-up so much. It's something that it's something that people all the time are like, oh, improv and stand-up, they're so similar. And it's like, I can see how you see that, but like improv is literally off the second of your brain, and stand-up comedy is so well written that the timing of how long that you take between this word and this word is 3.5 seconds. Is it better if it's 5 seconds?
Oh yeah,
they're so specific with stand-up that I admire you so much, Leonard. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, changing the timing of how I say things is like, I recently posted my first stand-up set at Guthrie's. I posted it on Facebook, and I was watching it again, and some of those jokes that I said that day, I still use in my act now, but I say them so differently now that I'm not rushing through those words, or I pause on a certain word a little bit longer because I think there's more of a laugh if I pause more, or I emphasize something, or do something different with my body or my face or my hands or whatever. So I guess going through the stand-up mode is more like I sort of like rehearse, and I act through my set. It's like here's the role I'm portraying for the next 15 minutes, and it's me doing the set script I have for 10 or 15 minutes, and I hopefully get better at it to learn where are the points where I should change a word here and there, or change an inflection, or make sure I'm establishing eye contact with somebody. But with improv, it's so different.
Well, with the stand-up, you're doing that live to different audiences every time you do it. So having to orchestrate the timing of the joke to tailor it to that audience, or do you find that you can tune in a certain rhythm to the comedy and it plays universally?
So I'm not good enough yet to change my jokes in any way if I have a different audience. I've only been doing it for a couple of years.
I love that you said yet. I love that you said yet.
Yeah. So I know, like I've done a show where I did a show with Johnny Ader a few months ago, and I realized like, oh, they didn't really, I don't think they really appreciated the jokes I was doing. And then like I had, my set was actually split up in 2 segments, so I was gonna go back up in 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, they're gonna get the next jokes I have prepared, because that's my set, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna do those jokes the best I can. But there's no deviation, because like I'll think like, oh, they're not really getting these jokes. I'm going to tell different jokes. No, I've only been doing this 2 years. I've got 15 minutes of jokes. If I gave you 7 minutes and now I'm back for more, you're going to get 8 minutes. You're going to get my next 8 minutes. And they're going to be the exact 8 minutes no matter what. So there were some awkward moments during those sets. But like when I'm pausing, waiting for a laugh, I'll just sit on it. And I just like, And I get one person laugh and go like, there you go, thank you very much. And then I'll move on.
And you feel the same things when you're doing improv too.
Yeah, like sometimes with improv, if I say something that doesn't land, I might just quickly follow it up with oh, sorry, and then I'll back up, and sometimes that might get a laugh just by saying, just apologizing for the thing I just did in the stage. But I took a class with Dennis Price, and he just says like, just if no one's stepping forward, just step forward. And sometimes I'll step forward with a dud, just to take the hit, I guess, and then apologize, and then move back, and hopefully someone will step forward with something else.
It's like when you do shotgun games, like Sex with Me or World's Worst, or the audience isn't going to remember the bad. They're going to remember the funny. Yeah. So if you throw out a bomb, just let it settle and step back to the line, because they're not going to remember it.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No one comes after us on a show afterwards and say like, oh, that thing you did 27 minutes into the show, that really brought the room down. I don't know why.
Can you imagine?
I don't know why you did that. I was going to buy you a beer, but now the basket came by me for tips, and I was like, that thing 27 minutes in.
Now, have you had a time where you thought that you might have stumbled, but the audience didn't notice or didn't see it? I mean, I often find that as a performer, you are your own worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I walk off stage sometimes trying to figure out where I went wrong in a scene, and I'm the only one who noticed. So I'm wondering how much of that translates over into stand-up.
Oh, so sometimes with stand-up, what happens is like I'll mess up a word, or I'll say my jokes out of the normal order that I'm used to saying them in, and then I'll try to recover by saying like, okay, I forgot the Bill Cosby joke, so I should say it after the Black History T-shirt joke, but normally I say it in this way. I guess it'll still work, but I don't use the same segue that I normally would use because I haven't actually said anything about that shirt or being black or blah 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 blah. Or I'll mess up a word, and I'll be like, that word is so unimportant to the joke that I just keep moving on. But like when I get off stage, my buddies, they're the ones that'll tell me you messed it up.
Because they know the bit. They know
the bit because they've been seeing me do these jokes for 2 years, and Nick Dufault like knows all of our sets backwards and forwards, and he's like, oh yeah, you messed up that word, or hey, you messed up, right? And I go like, yeah, I know I messed up.
All right. So Leonard, our first game is called 4 Questions.
Yes.
And so Leonard comes from an IT background. And so in honor of our visiting professor, I have 4 IT questions, 4 questions about the IT industry for our faculty. Right? So Leonard, whichever one of our faculty members gives the best answer, not necessarily the correct answer, but the best answer, the answer you like the most, award them points. So our first question. According to QWERTY, your fingers travel more than what distance on average on an average working day by typing? So your fingers travel more than what distance on an average working day by typing? I saw Marie's hand go up first.
I'm going to go with 100 feet.
100 feet? Marie says 100 feet. Molly?
Can I give 50 points to Marie for the best answer so far?
Wow, that's
Sure.
huge.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, 50 to beat. And Molly?
So it's actually 5,000, but it's 5,000 tips. It's a different kind of measuring system that is actually not in the American, foot. It's not overseas metric. It is the tips. Okay, this is what they do in, you said Korea, right? Tip.
Yeah.
So very specific. So it's 5,000 tips per workday.
Yeah. Steve, you're next.
Oh, well, luckily I knew this one ahead of time. It's 48 kilometers per hour.
48 kilometers an hour. All right. And Nate,
There it
do you have an
is.
answer for it?
Great.
100 points to Steve for being so succinct in this.
100 points to Steve. Nate, what's your answer?
1/24th of a parsec.
1/24th of a parsec. 1/24th. The answer was 12 miles.
Oh.
So 12
Wow.
miles a day.
Wow.
Oh.
But I think you all had great answers. Leonard, how would you like to score that?
I guess threw out 200 nerd points to Nate.
200 to Nate.
Is a parsec.
200 nerd points. Are those the same as real points, or what's the ratio?
Be a nerd about it, Steve. Come on.
Yeah. Come on,
Sorry.
nerd.
I'm just trying to
All
figure
right.
out how much they're worth.
You get negative nerd points now.
No,
we
don't
have-
take away my
we
nerd
have
points.
our second question. According to BuzzFeed, other than being high-tech companies, what does Hewlett-Packard, Microsoft, Apple, and Google have in common? Nate,
Philanthropy. Philanthropy.
philanthropy. Steve,
They were all started by sweaty white dudes.
technically correct.
Okay.
Marie,
They're all in that like top 10 when you look at your stocks thing on your app.
Are we supposed to look at that?
No, don't do it now.
No,
It
don't
broke
do
up.
it, man.
not right now. And Molly, your answer?
None of them wear pants on Zoom calls.
I think we have a couple of correct answers there. The actual correct answer was all of those companies were started in garages.
Oh,
But Leonard, what's your call on that?
I say because none of us are actually wearing pants. 200 points to Molly for the best answer.
200 points for Molly for best answer, and none for us for not wearing pants.
I won't say
And so our next question is the QWERTY Keyboard. QWERTY, named after the alignment of the keys, the ones you have in front of you, is the standard keyboard we all use. The Dvorak keyboard is known for what? Nate,
Easy translation into Klingon.
That's
oh
it.
come on.
500 points to Nate. That was my answer.
500 for Nate. Good answer.
Go ahead.
Marie?
It's a special translator keyboard in your text messages on your phone for divorced couples who are having very, very passive aggressive statements and what is it called?
Dvorak.
Dvorak translates it into factual statements that will make it so that you can progress forward in your divorced relationship.
A keyboard for divorced couples.
Yes.
You sound like you're really well versed with that.
Yeah.
Steve?
I'm just trying to win my nerd card back here, my nerd points. I believe it was the word that Saruman whispered into the ear of each Urukai before sending them to find the hobbits.
Dvorak.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Actually, what it is from the very popular board game Dungeons and Dragons, and it is the move that you make when you like get somebody, and that's how they want you to type on the Dvorak keyboard. Get those
Dvorak.
monsters. So
All right.
All right.
it's
So-
the same.
A great answer from Marie. I would say 300 points for that. And then Molly and Steve get 100 pandering nerd points.
Yes.
100
Never
pandering.
don't pander. Never
A
don't
piece.
pander.
All
Not
right,
a nerd,
the-
but now my new goal is to get pandering nerd points.
Exactly.
Now, there's a little asterisk next to those points. Little P with an asterisk.
I'll take it. It still counts.
All right. You now have an
The Sammy
pandering
Sosa
points. All right, for pandering. The correct answer is it is an alternate keyboard layout that is actually up to 20 times faster to type on. The original
But I
QWERTY
learned ASDGFJKL semicolon back in like first grade.
So our last question and 4 questions, according to the Internet Society, how long ago did the first 4 computers of DARPANET, which is the precursor to the internet, connect? So according to the Internet Society, how long ago did the first 4 computers of DARPANET connect? Marie.
I mean, I feel like I keep knowing, I have all of the answers, so that's why my hand goes
Obviously.
up the first time every
Yeah,
time.
no, that makes sense.
So if anybody's seen the television show Lost, it's more of a documentary, and there are these different hubs of the science study laboratories, the 4 science study laboratories. That's how they started.
So on Lost.
Yes.
So
I'm
But
lost.
it's real. It's a
how long
documentary.
ago did they connect? And your answer is Lost.
Brilliant.
Standing
Just
by-
the,
Is
the same way,
surprisingly
the
accurate.
same way I didn't appreciate the ending of Lost. I don't think I appreciated the ending of Marie's answer there.
Oh!
Got him.
I don't know that I did either.
Molly.
Okay, so with answering the how long ago question, it's actually when the meteor hit Earth, the one that we all know that made the dinosaurs go extinct. So we all thought that was a piece of space rock. In all actuality, that was the charge from these computers going together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So the Chicxulub impact crater was caused by the first connection.
That's absolutely
Okay. Nate or Steve? Steve.
I don't know the exact time it's been, but I do know that it unfortunately, when it became that meteorite that Molly mentioned, it was right before it had finished calculating the answer to life, the universe, and everything. So
Deep thought. Nate, you have an answer?
Well, I know that the first thing to stream, the first video to stream, was actually some scientists who set up a webcam to watch their coffee pot so they knew when their coffee was done brewing. I think that was late 80s, maybe early 90s. So I'm going to say maybe 27 years.
27 years.
is that a
The
real
answer-
answer? Wow.
The answer is 51 years ago in 1969. You had the first 4 connections of the internet. Leonard, what's your thoughts?
I like how Steve's answer started with, I don't know the answer to this question.
Honesty.
It's a strong move, I know.
So he gets like 10 honesty points. And then, but I like Nate's answer seems to be the closest to be actually correct. So 400 points to Nate.
400 points to Nate.
He's the closest without going over, right?
At $1.
So right now, after our first game, our points are Marie at 370, Molly at 300, Nate at 1,100, and Steve at 310
Holy cow.
with pandering points. Reigning champion Nate Green has the lead, but can he keep it? Find out in our next segment where we have another pop quiz and play a game of Lie, Lie Again. Only at Balderdash Academy. Go Dashers! Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. You can find us on your favorite podcast service as Balderdash Academy.